said what?
How could they do something like that?
Are you serious?
What a thirsty MFer.
Not good. She's absolutely dead to me.
That's because she died.
I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton. And welcome to
Bad Behavior, a morally questionable podcast.
We're two unqualified friends,
Two unhinged comedians,
determine once and for all what is good
and what is bad. Hello and welcome to Bad Behavior. I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I am Blair Payton.
How you doing, Blair? How's it going?
I'm so good. I'm trying to match your energy. You're doing a lot of hand movements and talking a little softer. So I'm trying to...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm kind of hyped up on caffeine today because...
Really?
I have been getting such bad sleep.
Wait, this is you hopped up on caffeine?
Yeah.
Okay, now I've seen people who are really hyped up on caffeine, and this does not feel hype. This feels kind of baseline neutral for you.
Yeah, because I'm literally got, I think, 4 to 5 hours of sleep the past couple nights. Basically, this is what's happened. This is what's going on in my home. I'm in a feud with my next door neighbors. There's men that live next to me.
Ooh, are they hot men?
That are a bit of party animals. I don't really know. I literally never see them.
Ooh, party animals. So they're probably just beefy,
No. They're literally not. They sit out on their balcony, which is right next to my window. And then very into the wee hours, we'll be like, the space-time continuum. I'm like, shut it down. We don't need to talk about this at 2 a.m. I can literally hear every single word.
What is the space-time continuum?
I don't know. They haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet. But
they just want to talk about it, but they haven't gotten there? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically,
I'm losing my heart on.
This man who I share a wall with.
Okay.
He starts playing music at about 4 a.m. the past 3 nights in a row. He's kind of playing really old Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm like, is now the time? And I have tried to bang on the wall a few. The classic, wait. And then was this? I don't know. You know the main one.
No, keep going. I feel like we're so close to it.
I have it in my head.
And Under the Bridge?
How's that?
Well, you know.
I'm really sorry to my one friend who loves Red Hot Chili Peppers. I kind of forget. Okay. Anyways, I can hear every single lyric through my wall. And I have banged on the wall a couple times.
Well, it sounds like you didn't really hear it because you didn't retain any of them to sing to me. So I'm going to fight you on that one.
That's true. I banged on the wall. And then I hear them out on the balcony.
You banged on the wall?
I banged on the wall one time and they go like this out on the balcony. Why do you think she's banging on the wall? And the amount I wanted to stick my head out the window and say, God, I can hear every single word you say. I can even hear when he goes to the bathroom and then he's with his phone, so the Bluetooth, it's like, the song's like, it starts losing connection.
Okay, I know you're going through something, but the amount of mouth work you're doing with sound effects, you should be a Foley artist. I'm just putting that out there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all on point.
Anyways, I basically am in a feud, and basically what's happened is this now happens every weekend. And so the first few nights in the week, my body is still now waking up at about 4 a.m.
Okay.
And I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake for about a couple hours. And now what I've done today, I've decided to treat my body like a child. And like a child, I'm like, oh, is this the way you want to live? This is the way you want to live? Me waking up at 4 to 5 a.m.? Fine. We're going to run on no sleep. And so that's what I'm doing to my body. I'm trying to do tough love towards my body.
Okay.
Because I've tried to go back to sleep and laying awake for 2 hours is terrible.
Can't you take melatonin or something?
Yeah, but then it's 7 a.m. I don't want to take melatonin at 7 a.m. Anyways, it's been kind of a nightmare. And I do, speaking of conflict, famously our podcast, I have to write a note to be like, hey boys, I love to party too. But before midnight, and I have to figure that out because I don't want to be a villain, because I once have a neighbor who literally I would be a mouse and he was screaming at me that I was making noise. So I want to be look, have fun, but also I'm maybe we don't have to listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers full blast at 4 a.m.
Yeah, they should check out Kelly Clarkson's new album.
but before midnight, check that out.
Yeah. Anyways, that sucks.
What do you have any feelings about this situation?
Well, it's so funny because as an Upper East Sider, one Miss Carrie Bradshaw, so I've never really had. Well, that's a lie. There is some people in our building on the weekend, so I do not do anything on the weekends. Well, that's a lie. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't.
Well, you're just lying. You're constantly lying right now.
I'm just so
Blair.
conflicted in life. I wasn't able to see my therapist this week, so I'm just like a little bit of a mess. So you're just getting,
I'm so sorry.
You're getting all that verbal vomit just right now. So I so apologize. No, there's some people that live in my building. I feel like there's a lot of youth in here. And so like Friday nights.
That's okay.
That's fine, but they need to be quieter.
Do you mean like youth, like kids or like
I'm thinking
young
like
20s?
Early to mid 20s. Because there will be Friday nights.
So that's kind of my peers.
Okay.
In my 20s.
Okay. So there will be Friday nights where I'm like laying on my couch. I've had a DiGiorno. I just finished watching Drag Race on Paramount Plus, and it's like 10:30, and I'm, just scrolling through TikTok, having a good time, thinking, oh, might be time to call it a night. And around 2 a.m., just as I'm about to hit that sleep, because I'm on TikTok for a while, they'll come rolling in loud as fuck, talking like in elevated tones, not just normal speaking, but elevated. And it's a lot, and I hate it, but I don't like to cause waves because I still live here, so I'm not going to say anything except to you, and that's how I'm dealing with it. So not in a healthy way.
You're not even in bed. You're just kind of annoyed that they're making noise when you are having your DiGiornos.
Well, by that point, I'm finished. No, I have my DiGiorno early, then I'm on TikTok, and then I'm starting to doze.
This is actually a good segue to our newest sponsor, DiGiorno's Pizza.
Yeah, DiGiorno's Pizza for one.
I really haven't thought about DiGiorno's Pizza, no offense to our sponsor, I guess, in years. And it's also not a sponsor.
Well, you should get
our dreams.
Their cheese pizza slaps. Neighbors, New York, am I right?
Speaking of New York, we have a show.
I'm so excited.
We just want to remind everyone that we have a show on Saturday, 9 p.m., baby, Brooklyn at Littlefield. And we are so excited for this show. Bring your family, bring your cousin, bring your best friend, bring that girl you're supposed to get coffee with, but you don't really want to, because you know what you can do at a live show? Not talk to who you came with. That's so right, girl. So bring your pals.
Even bring an enemy, because who knows? Maybe we'll bring them up on stage and pass judgment on them. Anything could happen at the show.
Anything could happen. So buy your tickets before they sell out. All right, Blair. Now we have an amazing guest. You know her from her comedy album Party Nights, as well as many shows like The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, The Tonight Show, as well as doing so many shows all around New York. So go check her out. Please welcome our guest today, Emmy Blotnick.
Well, Emmy, thank you so much for doing our podcast today. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to tell you some things I wish I hadn't done.
And honestly, we're excited to hear it. But first, what we like to do with every guest, we like to know their style of handling conflict. How do you handle conflict?
I was going to say I don't, but I feel like...
I mean, that's a style.
I feel like I am avoidant. I haven't done, like the attachment styles thing.
Yeah.
I didn't read all of it, but the word avoidant was really hitting for me. So,
do you find that is kind of in most aspects of different relationships, or like in a friend's scenario, you like have a different style of like dealing with conflict?
I think if I had to justify my avoidant conflict style, it would be that I do think time heals most wounds. So like just like not acting on it and then being like, am I still worked up about this in like a week or a month or whatever? And I'm sure I'll just have like some explosive tumor someday, but that's kind of how I've been rolling. Is like, I might not care about this so much tomorrow that I need to confront somebody.
I'm just kind of worried about your health, because I would hate for it to build up and you get a tumor and then...
And I'm like, I should have told my husband I don't love scallions as much as he does.
So what I'm hearing is you're afraid to speak to your husband and you're worried about getting a tumor. Is that a correct assessment?
Yes, I feel accurately diagnosed, and we're only like a minute into this, so...
I kind of want to jump more into scallions, if we could, because I actually have a problem with scallions in that I say, are they spring onions? Are they green onions? I feel like there's so many. Are they chives? There's so many in that category that I always think are the same, but they're different.
The family, I believe, is called the allium. It's all of those are alliums. And I know this because if you feed them to a dog, it makes them shit like black. So if you feed them to my dog, rather, I should say.
So wait a minute. You just wanted to avoid eating scallions so much that you risked your dog's life?
You fed them to your dog?
I feel like you're connecting two things that are okay. Once upon a time, when I was a new dog owner, gave my dog soup, and it had been cooked with garlic and onions, and it really, he was not happy. He was happy while it was happening, but then later it was like, oh, this is terrible. What happened? I Googled, and they were like, the alliums are a big canine no-no. So,
is your dog a big soup lover?
He loves food so much, and when you give a dog soup, and the little tag on their collar hits the bowl with every slurp, every little slop of soup is like cling, 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 cling. It's like one of the most joyous things. You just have to make sure there's not alliums in the soup.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to go back to your avoidance style. Because we did answer it and then you kind of avoided it. So how does that typical. How does that manifest in a work situation?
It depends on the scale of the thing, right? If it's something egregious, I might be like, okay, this one is worth engaging in the, hand-to-hand combat of conflict.
You're doing hand-to-hand combat?
No, I'm doing maybe an email.
An email is hand-to-hand combat in modern day.
That, you know what, you're right. But most of the time I'm like, I have a feeling this will blow over. Most things blow over.
Most things do blow over.
Have you ever used the phrase per my last email?
Certainly not with somebody that I know personally, because I feel like they'd be like, what is this about? But I don't know. My best friend is a lawyer, and I feel like she uses that phrase with ease and what's the word? Elan? She uses it in this effortless, she'll be like, per my, that's just how she can churn out incredible office emails.
Yeah.
And it's so natural for her. But I'm like, does this sound authentic? I'm very in my head about, does it sound like I'm a customer service robot or something?
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
This morning in North Carolina, wheels are spinning. Determination is winning. A passion is now a thriving business, and it shows no signs of slowing down. How? The power of a conversation, like the one Clint Spiegel had with First Horizon Bank about starting a bike wheel manufacturing facility in Asheville. Now it's not just talk, it's rubber meets road. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/Clint. First Horizon Bank, member FDIC.
So we have a game we like to play on this podcast called Heaven or Hell. And this is going to be a game where you would rank these different experiences. Now, because you had an Edinburgh Fringe show last summer, which we went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2019, I think the same year you went.
Yeah.
How was it kind of a post-COVID? Was it back at it last summer?
It was and it wasn't. I feel like,
okay.
I don't know. My show was earlier, so I feel like I didn't make the rounds as much. I wish I'd seen more shows, and I guess you always feel that way. There's too many shows.
There's too many shows. You'll always feel a little guilty. Okay. Anyways, you did a show last summer called 30 Fragrances of Jennifer Lopez. We wanted to ask you about these different experiences you might have while wearing these different celebrity fragrances and how you would rank them as heaven or hell.
All right. The first one. Wearing Sarah Jessica Parker's lovely perfume while getting splashed by an NYC bus. And just so you have a reference point. It is a floral and musky scent.
I guess I'll go hell. I feel like it's not Sarah Jessica Parker's fault in any way, but the being splashed by a bus part is hard to call that heaven, you know?
You know what? I kind of think it is her fault because it happens in the Sex and the City opening. So I feel like it's just always going to anything involving Sarah Jessica Parker and a bus, there will be a splash. You know, she set the precedent.
Do you think, is it the bus drivers? No, I'm not going to pull this apart. I'm like, is it bus drivers that want to do this? But
they're in cahoots, for sure.
You know, sometimes it's better not to split. I'm going hell,
okay.
based on puddle splash.
Do you think they really had regular bus water for that opening? I feel like they would have gotten like splashed her with something a little fresher. But they were like,
regular bus water.
They were doing method acting, so she had to be splashed by regular bus water.
That's my fragrance, regular bus water.
Okay, number 2. Spritzing on Ariana Grande's Cloud Eau. Is that how you say it? Eau de Parfum?
De Parfum.
Eau de Parfum. Sorry. Ariana Grande's Eau de Parfum right before getting a full body spray tan. And this scent is coconut, praline, and vanilla orchid.
I don't mean to be repetitive in my answers, but hell based on the getting a spray tan part, I think. I've heard rumblings, like when I was looking into Jennifer Lopez's fragrances last year, I've heard rumblings that there is one Ariana fragrance that smells purportedly very expensive. I haven't smelled it, but if you put it on before a spray tan, it probably messes up your spray tan, and spray tan has such a smell. I don't know.
Yeah, the mix.
Last time I did it, I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, you know? I feel like I breathed a lot of it, and no one's going to believe I'm tan, you know?
How orange were your hands?
The lady actually did a great job. She like put a bunch of, it was like a really thick, like almost like diaper rash cream into my hands. But it did get all over my sheets, and it doesn't make you feel very like glamorous to wake up in like a giant brown stain, and then come home from your event and get back into the brown stain.
I one time had a spray tan, and whatever they used, it was like all natural ingredients, and she got some in my mouth, and I will say it was tasty.
Was it coconutty? I feel like that's what they go for.
It was coconut, and I feel like a little praline.
Wow.
It was in Virginia, so, you know.
That's a Virginia recipe.
It was a Virginia recipe. It was a special ingredient. Okay. Spraying on Katy Perry's Killer Queen perfume before you go campaign for Rick Caruso for LA mayor. The scent is fruit and bergamot.
Oh, guys, I feel like there's a pattern here where it's like
it's
the perfume. Yeah, it's like how am I going to say it's heavenly to campaign for Rick Caruso smelling like Katy Perry? It's.
I mean, we can edit it to make it sound like that.
I'm 0 for 2 on this. This is a double hell in my opinion.
Okay.
And it's, again, not an affront to Katy Perry personally. I haven't smelled that one.
Well, it should be a little bit of an affront to Katy Perry because I hope people don't forget that she was hardcore campaigning for Rick Caruso last fall. So
I did forget that. Thank you for reminding everyone.
Shout out Katy Perry.
You stacked that one.
But I feel like this is where it's going to turn around, right here.
Okay. Take me to heaven, baby.
I worry it might not, but we're going to try. Okay. Number 4. Dabbing on Rihanna's Rebel Fleur perfume spelled R-E-B.
Rebel Fleur.
But it's not spelled like rebel. It's kind of missing an E. It's just R-E-B and then apostrophe L. Before walking a red carpet with your entire midriff exposed, kind of, you know, in a Rihanna type of look. Hibiscus and violet are the scents.
I have not smelled this one either. I bet it's good. Am I Rihanna in this, or is it my midriff?
You're yourself. Unfortunately, you're yourself. You're in a Rihanna-inspired look, but you are yourself on the carpet.
And if it helps, let's say Rihanna picked out the outfit for you.
That's huge, actually. If Rihanna has picked out the outfit for me, even if it looks like shit on me, I feel like that's heaven. Even if she's like, amazing. Go out there and look, she could probably say something to me that would make me be like, my midriff is awesome.
Okay, so that's a heaven. We've really turned.
Yeah,
we
that
did
one
it.
feels like heaven. Despite it being my midriff, it is heaven.
But Rihanna's your personal shopper.
Yeah, I'll smell like bus water if Rihanna and I are picking out. I would love to just wear. I mean, her Super Bowl halftime outfit, I think, is a great, and also her Super Bowl halftime dancing style are both really good fits for me as a currently non-pregnant person who wants to be comfortable. So,
all right, number 5. Rolling on Sofia Vergara's Sophia perfume before your significant other's pals come over for a big Dungeons and Dragons game night. The scent is sandalwood and vanilla.
vanilla. I think this one feels like purgatory to me.
Okay.
I feel like I haven't, like, Sofia Vergara is somebody I know of, but I don't feel like that I have like I'm just going to keep this one short. I think I'm going purgatory.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
The fragrance and the game night are both like fine.
Okay, so for a little context, in case you or some listeners don't know, Sofia Vergara's husband is a huge D&D player, and they have a specific room in their home built just for Dungeons and Dragons.
Really?
She plays. And so that's why the Dungeons and Dragons are tied into this one.
Okay.
But that's fine. Purgatory, that makes sense. Okay, our final question. Adorning yourself with Kim Kardashian's perfume, self-titled Kim Kardashian, as you, in a major career pivot, submit an application for law school. Scents are floral, sandalwood, and vanilla.
Oh, baby, this is a double hell.
Yeah.
If it comes to I'm going to law school, it means like wow. I mean, I feel like I'm going to be running from law school my whole life. So
Have you been running from law school up till this point in your life? Or you think you'll start running after this episode?
it sort of feels like a distant storm cloud, and I have like a small umbrella, and I'm like, God, I hope I don't have to go to law school. I would sooner wear Sofia Vergara perfume than Kim Kardashian perfume for entirely arbitrary reasons.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
All right, well, we've come to our story part of the episode.
Okay, let me set the scene for you.
Perfect.
Okay.
I have left a massage appointment during which I was positively doused in arnica oil, like a golden straight. I was a really shiny, oily person, and I should have just gone straight home. It's a clear go straight home, you're very oily situation. But I thought of a friend of mine, Lisa Traeger, who I did the Edinburgh Festival with. And one time we got massages in Edinburgh, and she had an oil massage and then went and did her show right afterwards. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I thought you had to go home.
Yeah.
So I get this oily massage, and I'm like, Lisa didn't go home. I'm going to stay out. And I do a little bit of casual browsing on Broadway, as one does.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking, I'm like, is there maybe like a belt or something to add some pizzazz to this day?
Uh-huh.
And I see my former boss, who I adore as a person. I don't think he saw me. I'm not sure. I feel like that's a person I would clock much more readily than I'm making a lot of suppositions here, but I was like, I'm so oily. This isn't the time. I was like, this just doesn't feel like the time for a stop and chat. We're in a store. Like, so if you're, once the chat's over, and you bolt, it looks weird. And browsing more when you're oily is weird. Like, I just couldn't find a way through this situation that felt dignified. So I just kind of left. And then I was like, I'm like, what a coward. I should have just been like, hey, I'm oily. It's great to see you. Like, I should have been like, hey, funny running into you when I'm covered in oil. A person whose respect I crave, like, I just feel like I didn't handle it. I didn't handle it in a way I'm entirely proud of. And I spent the rest of the day wondering if, what would have been the right thing to do or say.
Wow. I have a lot of questions. And I think listeners will also, we've all been in this circumstance. So
60 minutes deep tissue. I'll answer the first question.
Okay. 60 minutes. How close were you with this person?
I'm fond of this person. I don't feel especially close. Like, we've never had like a sit around a campfire and talk about your past. Sort of like, we didn't get into it that deep, but I felt like we got along. And like, okay. If I hadn't been doused in oil, I might have been like, oh, hey, but I was just like, you should have gone home.
How long had it been maybe since you had seen this person last?
It had been like 3 to 4 weeks, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
So not long ago. So I'm not like a ghost that I'd have to be like, remember me. Like, I think if I had shown my face in a proud way, he would have been like, it's you. Like, I think we could have recognized each other, but I avoided. There's a theme here.
Now, could you maybe describe the type of store you were in?
It was a medium-sized store. Yeah, it is a national chain. The store itself is not as big as an H&M. It is maybe more in the like the Gap in its glory days type size.
Now, this belt, was this just kind of like a fun accessory you were on the lookout, or was this kind of a vital thing you really needed and therefore avoiding it?
I was not in like a belt emergency by any means. I was super casually browsing, but like covered in oil. Anyway, yeah, you get it.
yeah, I get it.
Now, when you say you were browsing, and you're covered in oil, were you touching the products with your oily hands?
I should clarify that I did wash my hands. So I would say it was sort of like everything but the hand. Like, my hands were pristine, actually. If my hands were my face, I would have said hi to him. Does that make sense?
It does. Well, let me ask you a follow-up question, because you know how oil is really oily? So even though you cleaned your hands, is it possible that the oil was just running and you could have gotten some on your hands?
I felt my hands were safe. It's hard to say with any factual, but I was covered in the like the legs and sleeves, so it wasn't like I was like greasing, re-greasing. I wouldn't go into a store, like a clothing store, with like dripping dressing hands. Okay.
This is a podcast where we do gotcha on our guests, and we say, do you usually go to stores
and sabotage their clothing?
Yeah, sabotaging.
But it doesn't sound like that's you.
But so we're just making sure that wasn't you. Okay. Now, could you paint us through maybe the rest of your day / the aftermath of like how much you really kind of sat with this, marinated with this back and forth? Like, did it really like end up weighing on you?
It did, because I was like, on the very small chance that he did see me and thought I was ignoring him, that to me feels like the thing I would most hope didn't happen. Is that he was like, oh, she's covered in oil and she's running away and pretending I don't exist. Like, that would be bad. I don't know if I have to hope that somebody accomplished is not thinking about this.
Now, when you got home, did you shower immediately?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that was when the ruminating began, actually. Like, the shower really is sort of like center stage.
Did you end up maybe telling your good friend about this incident who kind of did oil on stage?
Is this a different person?
Remember?
Your friend from Friends who was oily on stage. She had a massage.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I did tell you that recently.
I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, you told us probably about 10 minutes ago with that.
I was just like, who is my...
I'm so sorry. Your friend had gotten a massage and therefore inspired you to wear your oil out and about. Did you talk to her about this incident?
I didn't. And I think I honestly feel like it's not worth like interrupting someone's day and being like, hey, remember that massage you got in 2019? And then the show you did after. Like, I'm sure she would remember, but it just feels like what's done is done.
I don't know if could be any kind of peace in identifying with another good friend that also wore their oil out post massage to see if she had maybe encountered similar thing.
I guess I got to follow up with her and find out. I could see this one going either way.
Blair, where are you leaning? I feel like I could really go either way.
Well, what you were saying about the friend of Emmy's in Fringe that she forgot about, who was super oily on stage. She did that, yes. But how often has she been doing that? Did she work her way up to that? Because Beyonce just didn't become Beyonce. She worked towards that to become the grand superstar that she is. And so your oily friend in Ed Fringe, that was probably not the first time she ever oiled up for a show. And she knew the mechanics of how to properly do everyday life in oil. You know what I'm saying? And you just were like, you know what? I'm going to do that. Not thinking of all the preparation that goes into that of publicly oiled. And so I think you would have benefited from, saying, hey, this is something I need to do in my life. I need to try this. I need to be oily in public, but how do I go about it correctly? And you didn't ask her, you just jumped right in. And then I think you got in over your head,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that feels accurate.
So
you're leaning bad, Blair?
I think I'm leaning bad because you need to know the dangers, because you could have slipped and you could have had a Carrie moment on a New York City street. You could have been splashed by dirty bus water. And so you could have ingested. There were so many factors that you weren't thinking, not only just about yourself, but for other people. You could have fallen on someone and they could have fallen in the street and gotten hit by a bus. You know what I'm saying? So you were playing God that day, is what I'm hearing.
Wow, that really went places, Blair.
Yeah.
I think she's probably wearing shoes.
Yeah, but oily feet,
Yeah.
No, your point is well taken.
This is a classic conundrum, right? I think we all can relate going into scenarios. Maybe you're not either looking your best or you're just not in the mood to chat with somebody. And it's not that you are, actively trying to avoid them or not trying to be friendly. It's just in that moment, it's not the time. And so I very much commiserate with that. I think I am going to also be leaning bad, but not quite towards you, but towards your friend, kind of, who also went. Because I have a lot of really close friends who I look up to, kind of, they're a little bit my map in the world. And I think if I had a good friend who oiled up took that post-massage oil out and about in the world, I would have done something similar as you, to say, my friend has normalized this behavior. And therefore, you ended up in this pickle. And so I think I'm leaning bad because your friend gave you this confidence and didn't tell you about the pitfalls that could come post-massage being out and about in public. And therefore, I lean bad too.
The twist that you could blame my friend for my actions is honestly it's a little freeing. It's
okay, great. Okay, so Emmy, I'm so sorry to tell you, but you have been deemed officially bad behavior. And because of this, we have a little punishment for you today to try to redeem yourself. And so we have a celebrity apology that we'd love you to read out in your own voice, but this is from iconic actress, podcaster, and host Keke Palmer.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street and I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
So how do you feel? Do you feel free?
Yeah, do you feel free? Did that help? Or are you still going to be stuck in this moral conundrum?
I have to just hope that next time I'll try to just go home next time.
You'll try to get home quicker post-massage.
Yeah, I think that's the lesson.
Okay, well, incredible. Well, this has been such a treat. Before we wrap up, can you let listeners know where they can follow you? Any upcoming things to plug?
Oh, okay. I am like vaguely on Twitter still. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. My full name is my name on social media too. It's Emmy Blotnick, and I will post if there are shows. I don't know, guys. Thanks for having me.
Do you have a catch-all website?
You're not going to believe it. It's emmyblotnick.com. It hasn't been updated in so long.
Okay.
And maybe I'll do that now. Now that we're plugging it, I'll go and give it a fresh coat of paint.
And that's our show. Thanks so much for listening today.
We absolutely hate to do this. We hate it.
But it would mean the world to us if you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, rate and review.
Follow us at Bad Behavior NYC on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks again for listening.
And remember, whatever your moral status, we are always here to judge. Bye. Do you think that was good?
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.